as requested by movie club member old Cury Jaws over on my Patreon. Here is my review of The Giant Claw from 1957. In only a short amount of time as a patron, old Cury Jaws has made quite an impression on me, as he has on many of you. He's requested reviews of both the Nightmare on Elm Street remake and the remake of The Fog, the latter of which has scarred me for the remainder of my life. And make no mistake, old Cury Jaws is not requesting these movies because he thinks they're bad and wants me to suffer. He loves both. Legitimately, he will unabashedly admit that he thinks the Fog remake is far superior to John Carpenter's The Fog. I just threw up a little. So what would be his next review request? What could possibly top the Fog remake? Well, in this case, it's 1957's The Giant Claw, a movie about a big vulture-like bird creature from outer space with googly eyes, a warped beak, snaggle teeth, and a thinning mohawk. And I loved every second of it. An alien bird that's as big as a battleship has come to Earth to wreak havoc. Now it's up to an electrical engineer who plays by his own rules, and a mild-mannered mathematician to clip this birdie's wings and save the lot of us from its giant claw. Or claws. It has more than one. The 1950s were a glorious time for monster movies. You had The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Them, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, The Fly, The Thing, The Killer Shrews, and The Giant Claw. The Giant Claw may actually be my favorite big rubber monster from this era. Whoever designed this thing, and then whoever approved it, presumably the director Fred F. Sears, either had a great sense of humor or were really high. I mean, look at this thing. Just about every character in the film compares the bird to a battleship. Now, if I saw this thing flying overhead, a battleship would be the last thing that crossed my mind. I'd be wondering who the prankster was that spiked my mineral water. However, there's something charming about this big goofy chunk of rubber, and the fact that you can literally see the strings attached. The bird is immune to radar, and to machine guns, cannons, and rockets. And of course it is, again. Just look at this beast. And because of this, the movie actually does a pretty good job of creating a doomy atmosphere. The bird's presence and our government's inability to stop it has changed everyone's way of life. New rules are being enforced. Lockdowns are in place. Sound familiar? They also put a lot of emphasis early on in the fact that radar can't detect the bird, and how beyond the realm of possibility it is for radar to not detect something of that size. There's some opening narration in which the narrator discusses recent advances in technology, and because the military is so dependent upon that technology and so doubtful of eyewitnesses, many lives are lost. Clearly, the movie is an allegory on man's crippling reliance on technology and how quickly everything can fall apart when that technology fails. And yes, this movie does have a narrator. Actually, there's quite a bit of narration, now that I think of it. The Giant Claw clocks in at a sleek 1 hour and 12 minutes. That's thanks to the narrator condensing major plot points down to a few simple sentences. Also, about 30% of the movie is made up of stock footage. Mitch McAfee is the electrical engineer who plays by his own rules. Jeff Morrow plays Mitch with this kind of cocksure swag, as if he's never heard a woman say no. You know, like the typical electrical engineer. There's a scene on a plane in which Mitch discovers that Sally, the mild-mannered mathematician, has fallen asleep beside him. McAfee decides to take this opportunity to very smoothly lean over and kiss her on the mouth. Surprisingly, Sally is accepting of this gesture. Today, that kind of move would land you a sexual assault case. There's a couple of fun scenes in which a fleet of fighter planes gets torn up by the bird like toilet paper in a rainstorm. There's another fun scene involving a group of kids out past curfew raising hell in a fast car. Of course, they draw the attention of the bird, and they don't make it. There's also some fun dialogue like, "Keep your shirt on while I go put my pants on." And though I may have dreamed this, I'm pretty sure there's one sequence in which a character looks at the bird and then remarks, "Yeah, that's a big bird." The climax involves the bird attacking New York City. It's all done with miniatures, of course, but they missed out on a perfect opportunity for a scene involving a New York City cabbie to look up at the bird and say, "What's with this fakakta bird over here? Oh!" The ending is pretty underwhelming. The acting is clunky. The plot is barely there. And the star of the show is a big, goofy-looking rubber bird. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't believe I'm about to recommend an old Cury Jaws request, but The Giant Claw is a silly, fun 50s monster movie. It's available to watch for free here on YouTube, and I say check it out. Huge shout out to Movie Club member old Cury Jaws over on my Patreon. Your batting average is low, granted, but every now and again, you come through with a nice base hit here or there. In the case of The Giant Claw, I'd say that's at least a solid double. And you drove home a run, so clutch. Got a movie you'd like to request me to review? Follow the link in the description or head over to patreon.com/pizowell and join the movie club today. If you've seen The Giant Claw, please let me know your thoughts on the film down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, let me know what your favorite 50s monster movie is. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Thank you to all my patrons and channel members. I appreciate your generosity and support of my channel. Become a patron today and have a say in what content appears on my channel. Join me for monthly live streams and much more. Become a channel member today and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream. Both those links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.